Hey up everyone and welcome to Political Nerds. I'm Steph the Alter Nerd, your nerdy political guide from Washington DC to Westminster and beyond. Now of course, before I jump into this, the usual disclaimers. Do your own research, come to your own conclusions, and as a disclaimer, I'm not inciting hatred to anyone or particular group, religion, etc. So, in part 2 of our interview series, I'm thrilled to be chatting with Urid van Ademir, better known as the Apostate Prophet, across X and YouTube, you guys, and trust me, by the time we're done, you'll be eager to hit that follow and subscribe button. So I've got all his links ready in the description bar below. His ex-bio confirms that he's an ex-Muslim, Christian, fact-checker and satiritist. So thank you so much to Ridvan for taking the time out for doing this next episode with me. Today we're going to go deep into our government's obsession with defining Islamophobia. So Ridwan, why do you think our government is so determined in the face of so much opposition to create a definition for Islamophobia?
Yeah, thank you once again, Steph, for having me. It's a pleasure talking to you. But I would say that it's a very simple trick. It is pushed by certain Muslim organizations and Muslim people, by Islamic organizations that unfortunately have shady ties, like the Muslim Council and all that, in order to have more protection for their own group and for their own beliefs and for their own agendas. The history of it is actually kind of messed up and reminds me of a very typical Islamic mindset. So, in the past, you had slightly controversial but rather widely accepted adoption of the term of a working definition for anti-Semitism. But anti-Semitism is quite different because anti-Semitism, unlike anti-Judaism, for example, right, or Judeophobia, anti-Semitism was coined by a guy who was racially against Jews. So the term itself is meant to be directly an attack against Jews themselves, not against their religion. Um, and because of the recent history, this whole working definition for anti-Semitism was considered widely like not that problematic and was adopted. But now you have a sinister plot by certain Islamic organizations to come in and take advantage of that and to say, oh, look, they have a working definition for anti-Semitism. Let's also do a working definition for Islamophobia. If they can do that, why can't we? But there is a crucial difference here, as you can already see. Anti-Semitism is specifically about being against Jews ethnically, racially, and so on. Islamophobia, it's already there in the term. It is not about Muslims. It's not about brown people. It's not about people from Pakistan or anything like that. It is about Islam. There is, it's one thing to be against Muslims or to be against people from Muslim countries. It's another thing to be against Islam. But then again, it is one thing to be against one group, and it is one thing to be against a different group. We shouldn't be putting all cultures and all people on an equal level and say they are all the same. So we shouldn't have prejudice or judgment against any of them. There are very good reasons to be against one religion and not the other. There are very good reasons to be skeptical of one religious group and not the other. With Islam, we have a very special case. As explained, Islam is a religious system, an ideology that was founded with the purpose to take over societies and to convert all to Islam. According to an Islamic scholar, Ibn Khaldun, from the so-called Golden Ages, Islam, unlike other religions like Christianity and Judaism, has the mission to conquer, to spread the religion by will or by force. So Europe has dealt with this Islamization attempts and Islamic military conquests for the longest time. It is reasonable to be opposed and to be skeptical toward Islam, considering the history and the impact that Islam has on your culture all the time. But now you have Muslim organizations coming into your country because of large Muslim populations and having a say in politics in the public. This time they're not trying to invade. They already came in. They already made themselves comfortable and they have established their organizations and they want to have a say in politics. Of course, these organizations will still continue upholding their Islamic ideas and their Islamic mindset. And with their sentiments of upholding their Islamic mindset, they will also want to make sure that any criticism of Islam is silenced or punished or I don't know suppressed in some way. There is no free speech in Muslim countries. In the West is very well known for having free speech. The West is very well known for saying whatever you want, or for expressing your opinion, for having open discussions, people just agreeing or disagreeing with you and all that. In the Muslim world, there is no free speech. There is oppression. There is no right to say things freely. There is no right to criticize the government. There is no right to criticize the religion. You will be punished. So that culture is not used to having their ideas and their beliefs criticized. So they will come in and also want to make sure that here in the UK you should not have the right to criticize their beliefs and their rights. So when these large groups of Muslims come in and make such an attempt, you will have politicians like the Labour Party, but also unfortunately the Conservative Party, pander to their demands in order to get their votes and play this game with them and say, yeah, okay, let's take some of their policies that they propose and let's actually promise to implement them in order to get their votes and their confidence. The Labour Party does it very, very famously, very infamously. So they take the attempt to have a working definition of Islamophobia, and they actually start working on it in a very, very brutal way. And the thing is, some of the proposed things about this working definition for Islamophobia include things like that, it speaks, for example, of reasonable criticism of Islam, which implies that there is also unreasonable criticism of Islam, which could be considered problematic under this law. What exactly does that mean? That opens doors to something very, very bad. It means that somebody in the government will be able to decide whether your criticism of Islam is reasonable or unreasonable, whether you should get in trouble or not for saying certain things about Islam. I'm sorry, Islam is a religion. It is a very, very, very hostile, very violent, very problematic religion. It should be in no way, and in fact, no religion should be in any way shielded from reasonable or unreasonable criticism, but especially not Islam, because Islam is a religious system, an ideology, a political system that is hostile toward all other people, toward all other religions. Why in the world would anyone be stupid enough to make the mistake to to forbid or to restrict any kind of criticism of this religion? It is stupid. It is suicidal. So, unfortunately, politicians do this because they want to pander to the Muslim vote, but they do this. They do this at the expense of the well-being of their own people and of themselves in the long run because they're stupid.
Now, speaking of the Labour government's stupid attempt to play this game, the Islamophobia definition working group set up by this government says that the group's proposed definition must be compatible with the unchanging right of British citizens to exercise freedom of speech and expression, which includes the right to criticise, express dislike of, or insult religions and or the beliefs and practices of adherents. We also have the CEO of the Aziz Foundation, the same foundation which has attacked our anti-terrorism government organisation Prevent, as saying that they're racist. That CEO is advising Labour on creating this definition of Islamophobia. And this is being confirmed by a Conservative MP called Nick Timothy from West Suffolk. So, knowing this, Ridvan, can Labour, can the government kind of square this circle? You think that any definition of Islamophobia can actually be compatible with our rights to freedom of speech and expression, including the right to criticise?
I think any attempt to do something like this puts your freedom of speech in danger, which is why there should be absolutely no attempt at all. There should be absolutely no compromise at all when it comes to this. There should never ever be a working definition or anything about Islamophobia being restricted or defined in the government. It is simply that the term is wrong. The term is horrible. It is ridiculous. It is a ridiculous term. I would say if you ask me about Islamophobia, I would say it's a good thing because I have a completely different definition of it, based on the historical definition of it, not based on a recent definition that doesn't even fit the actual meaning of the word and what the word sounds like. Once again, it is not Muslim phobia. It is not anti-Muslimness. It is not anti-Muslimism. It is Islamophobia. I'm an ex-Muslim. I really dislike Islam. In fact, I don't want to hate anyone or anything or anybody, but I definitely hate evil. And with Islam, I would say that it is evil, and I hate it. And there should be nothing wrong with it, because it is a religion whose adherents, including here in the UK, propose that I should be executed for leaving it and for criticizing it. How could I not hate it? Why would I ever be comfortable with shielding it from any kind of criticism? We should not have this kind of stupidity in in a free nation, in a Christian nation, in Britain. You shouldn't have this anywhere. And I do not think that it is possible to introduce something like this as a nation and then to still have a complete, comfortable protection of free speech. I think it should be completely rejected and tossed out.
Well, on that bombshell, guys, if you appreciated what Ridvan said, and of course you did, let's be real here, then make sure you're following him on X at Apostate Prophet, and also as well on YouTube, same at Apostate Prophet. And if you appreciated this interview and you want more, and of course there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alternerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following at Steph Alternerd, like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. In the next episode, we're going to be discussing Ridvan's thoughts on the Muslim Council of Britain. So don't miss out on that. And until the next time, you guys, laters.